Hey guys, Sunlight here, bringing you a new episode of Mythbusters, which was really long awaited for, and a lot of people were waiting for it. And yeah, I'm finally glad I can bring this out. I did most of these myths in one night, so there was some I couldn't put in there, but I did take in recognition all the myths that people left on that last video where I asked for myths. So whenever I get the chance, I will test those myths and put them in another Mythbusters episode. And yeah, if you want your myths to be tested, just ask it in the comment section below. And yeah, let's get into this. Alright, so the first myth we're going to test is something I've always wanted to test it but never got to it just because I've always forgotten about the myth. But it asks, does headshot protection actually work? And to test this, basically what we did was just go to Junk's Playroom. I told my friend to get a bonehead skull helmet, I think it was just because, you know, that was the one I saw with the most at the time, and you know, with his rank or whatever. So I told him to buy that. It had plus 37 headshot protection, I think, and I brought to make it neutral, I kind of brought the weakest gun in the game, which of course is the M16. And with that being said, I basically just went into kind of mid-range-ish, kind of, you know, in a way, and just shot him in the head. But as you can see, it only did two. I mean, he only had like somewhere around 2 life points left. So I would have to say that would be myth plausible, because yes, it does actually work, but you got to take into consideration that I was using the weakest gun in the game, and if you're gonna actually be playing the game, you know, that would not help you at all. So because more than likely people would be using stronger guns than the M16, so I'd have to say that would be myth plausible. Alright, so next myth that we tested was something that really kind of surprised me with the results, and basically the myth is asking, can a deagle one-shot kill? Basically, you know, just shooting one person one time and it killing them. And you know, I didn't take into consideration that he was talking about a headshot, because obviously if it's a headshot, it's gonna take one shot unless you were basically using the M16 and bonehead skull helmet like the last myth. But you know, I basically did it from someone with 100 HP, of course, because I'm pretty sure that was what he was implying. And you know, of course, it didn't do anything when I shot him in the front. He lost about 70 HP, and you know, that was expectable because the deagle is a 2-shot kill. But I was expecting a 1-shot kill when I shot him in the back, but it didn't. And you know, that kind of amazes me, because I've gotten most of my 1-shot kills on whatchamacallit on the back, but I guess the person was lit. And I did it again just to make sure, and it just leaves them with a low amount of HP. And I was really surprised, because I thought it could actually one-shot kill from the back. But you know, guys, I may be wrong. I make mistakes. I am human. I'm just going from what I see. It does leave them with a little bit of HP. And if I'm wrong, do not tell me a bajillion times in the comment section below, because last time I did a myth wrong, and it led to everyone literally just literally saying, you did it wrong, and people telling me in game, here, I'll show you. Like, no guys, calm down. But yeah, for that being said, that is myth busted from what I've seen. It just leaves the person with a little bit of HP. If that person is barely lit up, I would have to say it would be one shot, but that would be in-game scenario. So yeah, myth busted. Alright, so the next myth we have is something I've always wanted to test it again, but never got the chance to. Basically, the myth is asking, does female base run faster than male base? And you know, I've always thought, you know, yeah, it did, but we finally put it to the test. And basically what I did was, just last time, like I did on the last Mythbusters, I basically the females on top, males on bottom, and I just started a frame before they started running, and you know, from there, you know, I really think there is no difference whatsoever, because they both started at the same exact point, and they both reached the area of the trash can, like the dumpster right next to the door, in the same amount of time, to be honest. If there is a difference, it's barely noticeable, so I had to say that would be myth busted, just because honestly, if there was a difference, it's not even noticeable. So yeah, I'd have to say that is myth busted. They both have somewhat of the same speed, and if there's a difference, you know, it's not noticeable. You know, it would have no difference whatsoever if you were in game. So yeah, myth busted. Alright, so the next myth is pretty easy. Basically what the myth was just basically asking was, can you get a headshot with a claymore? And you know, this was pretty easy to test. All I did was tell my friends to basically just crouch down to a point to where you can only see your head, and I planted basically a claymore right in front of their face. And as you can see right there, it basically didn't do anything. It just gave me that double kill. But I know what the person was talking about. I've actually seen times where a person got a kill with a claymore and it said headshot. I think all it was a glitch in the system. It doesn't actually mean you got a headshot, because you know the claymore is at the bottom. How can I get a headshot? But I don't know. I've personally seen that a claymore has gotten a headshot before, but I'm pretty sure it was just a glitch or something. Or, you know, Nexon only did that for a while, because as you can see, I did test that to where only their heads were showing, and you know, it didn't give me a headshot because the claymore was right in front of their face. So yeah, that'd be myth busted. Alright, so for the next myth, it's kind of simple, just like the last one. Basically, all this guy was asking was, can you get an RPG headshot? And you know, I honestly didn't even know how to answer this, so I actually had to go into game, because usually if it was just an easy question like that and I knew it, I wouldn't really test it. Well, I'd probably test it anyway, but whatever. Basically, I went into the game and just went with RPG and told my friend, hey, stand in front of this. And well, not in front, you know, I was at a side view sort of. And basically I shot him I had to shoot him 2 times, because of course RPG is not a one-shot kill unless they're lit. So I shot him 2 times with the RPG, and you know, Nexon didn't register it as a headshot, so I guess that would just be myth busted, because you basically just can't, you know, get a headshot with the RPG. I don't think there's any way. And you know, I was in point blank right in front of his face with the reticle right in his face, and it didn't do anything. So yeah, myth busted. And for the other parts, he was asking about the grenades, like can you get a headshot grenade with a grenade. I basically consider the claymore a grenade sort of ish, just kind of an explosive grenade, so I've already busted that one too. So yeah, that would be myth busted. And for the last and final myth, we have a pretty old myth, but you know, we still decided to put it to the test. Basically, this guy was saying, can you window bang, I would like to say, because it is a window and, you know, wall bang. Can you window bang someone from the Bravo side of the junk fleet spawn? And, you know, at one point, you know, at older CA, you could always do this. I know this from experience, but I tried it recently during like in the middle of a game and it never worked. So I was wondering, yeah, this is true. What if Nexon did patch it? So me and my friend basically went into this and we just kind of just shot at each other in the same relative area for a bit, and we were just, you know, kind of just shooting at each other. But whatchamacallit, nothing happened until we kind of found a way to where yes, you can shoot through it, but it's basically irrelevant to use in game because you're basically going to be looking stupid. The only way you can actually shoot someone through the area is either if one player is glitched into the wall and the window in a way, or kind of just sticking out, because that's the only way me and my friend were shooting each other. You know, either one of us had to be sticking out or glitched into the window for us to be able to shoot at each other. And you know, I would not recommend doing that in the middle of the game, because one, if you actually do hit a shot through that, you know, of course someone's gonna hack a state, and the chance of you getting a shot like that is literally too small. But yeah, the only way to shoot through that is to be kind of glitched into a way for one player to be glitched in or kind of sticking out. And basically, I don't even consider that kind of a window bang, is because, you know, a person's layout is kind of sticking out of the window to the point to where you can shoot it. So I don't know. It is plausible that yes, you can probably shoot through this, but it depends on the scenario. I would have to say it is plausible just because you can shoot through it, but the fact of you using it in the middle of a game is kind of irrelevant. So yeah, and with that being said, that concludes the episode 4 of Mythbusters, and I just want to say I'm very happy that this series is still going, and I still want it to keep going. But the only way to do that is for you to keep sending me myths, and I know, you know, it's kind of hard sending these myths because I can't even think of any off of the top of my head without y'all guys asking me. So if you want this series to keep going, might as well just add some more myths and I'll get to them. And this is my 70th upload, so I just want to say thank you for everyone that's been with me, you know, for my 70 videos and all that. And yeah, I just want to say thank you. And yeah, like I said, just leave some myths, and with that being said, that's about it. So this is Zenlight. Peace, guys.